What are the more common issues that you see or that you get called out for when it comes to dishwashers? And is there any sort of simple tips that homeowners can use to prevent being that common call out?
Probably one of the most common, they're kind of tied. The most common is that the unit's not
Hmm.
draining and that it's not getting the dishes clean enough. I mean, probably 90% of the times you have an issue, it's one of those. For not draining, sometimes it's something very simple. So you want to check your filter if your dishwasher has one. A lot of times it's just a removable deal right there inside. The other thing is if you recently had a garbage disposal installed, most dishwashers, the drain line's hooked to the garbage disposal. On a new garbage disposal, where that drain line hooks to, not everybody has a dishwasher, so from the store out of the box it's sealed off. And so you want to take your drain line off where it hooks to the disposal, just stick a screwdriver in there, make sure it can go all the way through. If not, if you feel like it hits a wall, just get a hammer, tap it out, it falls into the disposal, that's fine. Hook the drain line up, it's good to go. I see that fairly often. It's pretty surprising. I'll ask them, so your unit's not draining. Did you recently get a garbage disposal? And they'll be like, yeah, how'd you know? So,
Yeah,
and
the wizarding tricks.
oh yeah, definitely. A lot of times if your drain pump is bad, sometimes it will make like a humming sound or like a rattling sound. Sometimes it doesn't make any sound at all. Some are more easier to check than others. Some drain pumps, if you remove the access panel on the front bottom of the dishwasher, they are accessible where you can test to see if it's getting electricity with a meter. But if it's right there in front, typically a drain pump for a dishwasher is anywhere from, $20 to $40. And most of the time, they have a locking clip and it just turns right off. And this is for like your Kenmore, Whirlpool, Maytag, that kind of
Hmm.
variety. That's pretty much it. It's the other thing that can cause it not to drain is if you have so much buildup of grease in your drain line that it's just not going
Hmm.
anywhere. One thing that you can do, because it is very difficult to remove a dishwasher sometimes, is if you have a small snake, you can actually go from where your drain line hooks to your garbage disposal or underneath your sink and just kind of slowly start to run that snake down the drain line. If you start to feel a little resistance and you pull it back out, you notice a lot of grease on there, most likely that's what's going on. So just snake it as far as you can. A cool little hack is if you don't have a snake, but you have an old cable line, like to hook up a television to cable. Most of us are digital, we don't use it
Yeah.
anyway. So you find it in a junk drawer, and you literally just run that cable line down because it's thick enough, it's small enough, and
Mhm.
you usually have it handy. So
Right, yeah, that's a good trick for sure. And a good use for one of those old cables that, are potentially sitting there for years. So in general, if it's not draining properly, it could be just the filter. It could, if the filter's okay, worth checking if any garbage disposal connections, and then potentially
mhm.
like a sort of a grease buildup. And that grease is probably for like an older model if you've had it, what, like 3, 5 plus years, something like that.
Yeah, usually. And then also, if you tend to not really knock a lot of the food off your plates, and especially if you're cooking a lot of stuff that's high in the fat and
Yeah.
everything, yeah, it really doesn't take long to build up. Especially if you don't clean your dishwasher
Hmm.
regularly, which is a pretty important deal too, to do that at least once a month or so with a cleaning tablet, which can be found pretty much anywhere.
Gotcha. So